Welcome back, everyone, to Journey to Ragnarok, an adventure of mythical proportions. To kick off this session, we have a special recap of the previous session, whenever you're ready.
All right. Into the high hall the heroes came striding. Heilhofen, the high hall, high seat of Asbjorn, descendant of Odin, ferocious and mighty and king of the coast. The heroes came striding, returning from raiding. Astrid, the bright-haired, daughter of Asbjorn, with poems to uplift. Guinevere, the swift-mind, wrote of the icy crow, with word hoard held ready. Tobias, the blood-blade, dweller of cold north, with honor to defend. Upppsala, the strong wall, safeguard of Odin's eye, with full force to fend. Great treasure they brought, treasure taken from raiding. They, the Franks, fought ferocious, their people left wailing, goods all bereft. For victory in battle, wise Asbjorn rewarded, with quick call to duty and speeding he urged. Travel to Alrikur, Jarl of the Northlands, disgruntled and wishing his lost seer to seek. Fimbulwinter they scorned, and went with high spirits to brave the high snowdrifts and wind-carrying cold. From blood strewn in snow, their path led to cave mouth, where rune deceives strength, and wild kin of Fenrir stood blocking their path.
And with that, we kick off this session with some initiative.
Alright.
Please roll my initiative. Thank you.
I have your sheet open. Don't forget to click on your token first before rolling initiative.
Yeah,
I will
thank
try.
you. This one will be the one that counts.
Well, don't worry, it
Oh,
matches your first one anyways.
Yeah, that works out. The game knew.
Who are we missing?
Me.
We're missing...
Yeah, Guinevere.
Did I not? Oh, no. Maybe... Oh, I rolled for you, but I guess it didn't go through.
Man, somebody didn't click on their token.
I
Weird.
did. Oh, you know what? No, I did click on you.
That's weird. It just didn't roll through.
Yeah, okay.
This is good, guys. This is a good start. We'll be fine.
We're off to a great start.
Yep,
Mhm.
off to a wonderful start. As we finally
We're
get some
fine.
combat.
Finally, he
Yeah,
says.
this is session 2. Fine.
Two wolves
No.
and the big boy.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, they
Alright.
were all there.
Wolves and the warg.
Or
They were
Yay.
all there before.
And
Which wasn't
this
bad.
first wolf is up to the party.
dun dun.
They are here to have a time, and a time they shall have. As they begin prowling and end up right here, in view of whoever can see them.
Nice.
And yeah, they're just gonna play the edge of the battlefield. Upppsala, you're up.
Oh man.
You see what you see?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can get there easily, but it's do I want to?
If you want to be there.
10, 15, 20, 25. You know, I am gonna do it. I have my shield out on one side, and I have my battle axe out on the other. Let me change something here really quickly on my... Okay, cool. It should only roll one-handed weapon for now,
Okay.
since I'm only using it as one-handed. So I'm gonna try and hit it with my battle axe. A 12.
You go to swing, but the
Dang.
wolf was smart enough to anticipate a strike. It saw, you see its own ferocity as it witnesses your equal, and it jumps back, dodging the blow.
All right. Well, I am, because I don't want these other wolves kind of in my space, so I have 10 more feet of movement. So I'm just gonna move to like
Just circle
there.
around.
Yeah, just kind of moving over
Alright.
to that position there. That way, if anybody wants to come and assist with the attacking, that way one of us can at least kind of see stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I got. That's my turn.
Tobias.
I'll take that cue. Let's see if I am close enough. I suspect I am.
If you have 25 feet of movement,
Yep, that's why I moved, because like I think everybody could get there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna get into flanking
you
position.
have flanking, indeed.
Sweet. Okay, I am gonna swing my assault axe and aim to deal as much damage as possible. Here we go.
A 13 just hits the wolf.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
What are all those numbers from?
It looks like the second one is assuming, because I had to modify the longsword template, so it's assuming that there's a possibility of two-handed. This is just one-handed, so it's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, you bring down your axe and slash into the hind of the wolf, and you can see a large chunk of fur and meat has been sliced into as this wolf is bleeding profusely across the snow. It is standing barely with a limp.
Alrighty.
Alright. The warg. Let's see what the warg does. Let's see here. Okay. The warg. Let me look at his stat block. The recording will see what your death entails.
Oh god. He has a bigger stat block than Wolves, guys. This is not good.
Yeah, he also has legendary actions. Who knows?
And this is his lair.
He is also twice the size, or 4 times the size of, so he's really big.
Yeah, it's going to... It's gonna prowl this other direction.
Oh no! Okay, well, at least it's taking the long way.
Baby, come back. Stay
Right.
over there for me.
No,
And it's
just keep going.
the
Keep going.
the Great Warg is going to dash and begin
Oh.
stalking towards Guinevere. And
not good.
as it approaches Guinevere, and you lock eyes with the beast,
Yeah.
you hear a deep growl as it begins speaking to you.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And it,
What does it say?
It growls. A bleeding blossom will bloom. Red rivers of rage and torment will ravish you. The great Garaval growls, and your grim lives will leave you. And that is its turn, and it's your turn! What?
Oh, that's
I have your
lovely.
sheet open, if you wish me to still Jaeger you.
You are also
Okay.
in melee range. So you
I'm
know.
in melee range. Okay, that's a good piece of information to know because I was not fully aware of that.
Yes, you do have things such as Shocking Grasp and Frost Fingers and Thunder Wave, which don't get any disadvantages at melee.
Yes. I may or may not be at a stoplight right now, so I'm looking
So if you just want to tell me what you'd like to cast, and I can click on it.
let's go with a shocking grasp.
Alrighty, Shocking Grasp. It hits.
Awesome.
And you can back up for free.
Yes. So
Nice.
I reach out and I grab onto its snoot
Mm-hmm.
and I catch shocking grasp. And then as it's like flailing about, I jump back and I'm gonna move back as far as I can towards where the other two are to try to give more light, because right now I am the only light source.
Okay.
So I want to move 20 feet back, which should put me pretty close to the guys, or
Okay.
forward. I'm not sure what direction it is, but I'm moving towards them.
I think I moved you successfully.
Awesome. Yep. And I'm shouting to Astrid what the wolf just said to me. And can I roll a history check on who he's referring to, or is that pretty common knowledge in this world?
You can roll a history check.
Will you please roll me a history check?
Shall. A 19. This great warg is referring to himself. You've heard tales of some sort of larger wolf commanding the packs in the woods, and it seems you have stumbled upon him, the great Garval, the warg of the woods.
Okay, I will make sure that everybody knows that is specifically who this is, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. The other wolf. Is going to 5, 10, 15, 20. Is going to dash and sprint in with his brethren.
Oh no.
Rude, stay in the back.
Astrid.
So I hear my friend tell me what this warg, this monstrous wolf, said to her, and I just kind of put my nose in the air with a little false bravado and go, yeah, well, the rhyme scheme kind of sucks. And I'm going to go ahead and cast Bane. I think all of them are within 30 feet of me, yes? Maybe that...
Measure 20 feet, 25 feet, and 20
there we
feet.
go. Right, sorry. Forgot
Yes.
I could measure. So I am going to go ahead and cast Bane on all three of them, and I need a charisma saving throw.
Alright, from each of them, can you just pop Bane in the chat for me, please?
Sure. That's a charisma 13 save.
If you can also see if you can't share the actual information of the spell.
Oh, whoops.
Charisma, the two wolves got a 15 and an 18.
Damn it.
Rude.
Well, it was worth a shot.
And the warg, they have -1s. The warg gets a 12.
Yes!
Okay. All right. I'll take it. And then I'm gonna just be like, okay. And I'm gonna back up my full 30 feet. So actually to there. I'm gonna toss a bardic onto Hope here and say, all right, you know what? They're just like big dogs. You got this.
Alright. This wolf, this heavily injured wolf, is in a very precarious situation. It is going to try and, it's just going to try and bite Opir with its pack tactics, as it has its friend in range. 14.
That misses. I hold up my shield and it gets a mouthful of shield.
It's biting on your wooden shield, and there's probably some marks in it now. Opier.
Alright, as it's biting on my wooden shield, I'm gonna try and like lift the shield up just enough so I can underhand swing my battle axe into his gullet at advantage because we're flanking. So a 24 for 14 is a
You
Yes.
underhand swing and bring your axe through the belly of the wolf, with the head of the axe piercing through fully through the back and spine of it as it drops dead with a whimper.
Cool. Ripping my shield out of its mouth. I'm going to look over at Tobias, give them a nod, and then I'm going to maneuver through here to here, kind of like up on this little rock face, and just make sure I have the high ground over this wolf, and leave the quick opening there for them to maneuver in to that position. And that is my turn.
Tobias.
While keeping all of the fight in front of me, because I think that's what I'm going to do on purpose as long as I can play this character.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully I can capitalize on that. Well, oops. Gotta move, not measure. I'm going to move in position to try to finish off this wolf in one stroke. Let's see if I'm lucky. And there it is. Boom.
The 21 does cut into the wolf, taking out, again, a solid chunk of flesh from it, but it is still standing, bleeding heavily, but it is still up.
Okay. Fortunately, not much else I can do there. Alright, that is my turn.
Okay, Garval the warg. You have left your most vulnerable, and they are going to approach Guinevere
Rude.
and try and rip you to shreds.
Okay.
With a 16.
Yep, that hits.
Actually, minus a d4.
Mm-hmm.
A 12.
Sweet.
12.
Reaction cast shield. AC is 15.
Reaction cast shield.
Yes.
Garval goes to bite down, and you quickly see some lethargic energy overtake him, and he powers through it and goes to bring down his giant jaws on you, but you quickly, with a flash, bring up this magical barrier, and all he gets is a mouthful of magic. And
Nom.
it is your turn now.
Is he back within melee?
Yes.
Oh, hey, look, you snout. Grab.
Alright, shocking grasp. Yes, you do indeed.
24
Awesome.
to hit. Jesus.
Damn.
Awesome. Zap, and then I'm gonna run until I'm basically behind Tobias.
Zoom.
Now we're all in a line.
I know.
We're literally
Yeah.
it's me, Wolf, Tobias, Gwenvere, and Astrid in a line.
It's a
Don't
shame
worry.
that it doesn't have a breath attack.
This is the only time we will pull this stunt, guys, because it doesn't have a breath attack.
This legendary wolf casts lightning!
The normal wolf, it's gonna try and take a chunk out of Tobias.
That's fair.
That is what it's going to do. It's going to try and bring down its chompers onto Tobias for a 8.
Oh, is that the roll? Well, that doesn't hit.
Yeah, that is
I
its
am
turn.
good.
It tries to bite you, but you manage to sidestep out of the way as it stumbles while it's bleeding heavily. It is now Astrid's turn.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay, still holding concentration on Bane. Astrid is going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to there, and she's going to look over at Ope here and say, I'm supposed to be hiding behind you, and she kind of punches him in the shoulder, like and I am casting Cure Wounds with that.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, and for flavor, I'm gonna say that I've never healed anybody before. I'm just like indignant and scared, and this is my meat shield, and he left me. So I'm basically casting it out of spite.
Hey,
Oh my god, terrible
that
roll.
is, fun
That's
fact,
perfect,
that is
though.
exactly the amount of HP I was missing.
See,
Oh,
see,
there
it's
you
a
go.
terrible roll for anything above level 1.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
You're right.
At level 1, that's like a solid
At
portion.
level 1, that's
You're
like someone's
absolutely right.
entire health bar.
That's almost a whole wizard health bar right there at 4.
So
So,
I punch you, and you feel great. You may have learned something about yourself.
maybe.
Alright, is that your
Also,
turn?
I point to the big boulder that you're standing on top of to be
Uh-huh.
like, you can hide right there.
Oh, right. And
Oh wait,
so I
the
will
wolf
just.
the wolf will bite you. Just stay still.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah, I'm up on that board.
Opir.
All right, I'm going to try and flank assault this this wolf as it's looking at Tobias. I'm going to try and put my axe through the top of its head one-handedly. 18 for 14.
You bring down your axe and sink it directly in the skull as it drops dead.
All right, cool. So, seeing what we gotta do, I'm just gonna do one of these bad boys. I'm gonna run to right there, just take off, just and run my 30 feet in front of this wolf, and kind of wave on my other melee combatants to follow suit. Let's
Okay.
kill this wolf.
Which you definitely see better now, is way bigger than any of you.
Yeah, he's much larger. He's very big.
Alright, Tobias.
Good kill up here. And then I'm gonna rush into position. I'm gonna rush over. Yeah, this is a good spot.
I think you can get flanking if you move across from me.
Oh, it's 5 feet beyond my. Oh wait, I have a speed of 35.
I was gonna say we have the same.
Dun-dun.
We're the same type of human. So
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make my swing and try to take a chunk out of this thing's leg.
Okay. A 19 does strike it as you slash at its legs. It is very hurt. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Okay, well with its turn, Garval is going to try and spin around and catch you in its jaws.
He's welcome to try.
18.
minus a d4.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep.
17.
Perfect. My AC is 18.
No.
Bane
Phew.
saved you. Winifia.
Okay, is it within melee of me?
No.
Awesome, cool, great, fantastic. It's nice not to have that thing breathing on me anymore. Let's go with a firebolt.
Okay, Firebolt. A 14
Yes.
hits as its fur begins igniting for 6 damage.
Awesome. And then I have view of the map now. I'm gonna move. Please move me. If I go 15 feet to the left, will I be in that circle?
No, you will be just outside of it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'd like to be there just to try to give some light on the field as best I can.
Alrighty, Astrid.
Okay. Just double check. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So Astrid looks at this wolf that is, on fire, and she laughs. And she says, Wat dat tira, viertuswafel on Nasar. Vicious mockery, so I would like a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay.
Again, looking for a 13.
Wisdom saving throw, it gets a 10.
Alright, so here is some damage, and you have disadvantage on the next attack roll, and yeah.
Alright, roll a d4. 3! Okay, this warg, Garaval, is looking worse for wear as we come around to Opir.
Alright, I am going to drop my shield and try and swing down on this thing two-handed with my battle axe.
Okay, two-handed style.
I'm basically gonna try and cleave its head off its shoulders in one fell swoop. But my AC will drop to 16. 22 for 7 damage.
With that swing, you drop your shield, you raise your battle axe in both hands, you swing just as Garaval goes to spin back around to try and bite at your neck. The axe makes contact with the base of the large creature's head, and it cleaves directly through, sending its head flying one direction and its body slumping over directly in front of you.
Excellent. I'm gonna pick back up my shield again and...
Nice swing.
You too. Good job trailing and doing what we do. Good job working as a unit. That's what we need to do. That's how we don't die. We fight together.
Fight like a pack. Okay.
Ironic that we just slew a whole pack, or a small pack.
We taught them a lesson.
We did. I know since this thing is so big, for the hides of the smaller ones, because they're about the same size as us, they would be more manageable to skin if we wanted to do that than trying to spend hours and trying to skin this warg, right?
It would definitely still take some time to skin, and with the cuts you put into the wolves, you would be getting damaged wolf pelts.
Gotcha.
But warg skin.
True. Could we? How
Pack
cleaned
it in
up
some
is this?
snow and get it later.
How bad's this warg looking as far as hides?
The warg is looking decently. The hide of the warg is looking decently fresh, other than the fact that on its left side stomach, there's a large patch of fur that is singed and burned away.
And no
Just
head.
adds character.
And no head, yeah. The head is in this square.
Okay.
No, let's pack it in snow, and then we can get it on the way back.
All right, that works for me.
We must have this as a trophy.
Although since it's bleeding everywhere, we might as well just leave it at where it is and try and bury it here rather than making a blood trail everywhere.
That's what I meant.
You do notice with how cold it is and the current weather situation, the blood is quickly, crystallizing.
Gotcha. Oh, it's real cold then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Now that it's after the fact, can I make a history check of some sort to see if this wolf is significant in any way to the area? Not just, oh, there's a big wolf in the forest, but is there significance to it?
Sure, you can roll a history.
Okay. Now that combat is over, I am going to take a deep breath and think to myself, what did my father tell me about these forests? And that's my way of casting guidance, if that's acceptable.
Yeah. Thinking back on your knowledge.
roll. Wait, normal roll. Thank you. And slash. Okay. Well,
With a 13, it's general. Wargs are generally like one of those, bedtime fairy tales. Like, if you don't eat your soup, my child, the warg's gonna break into the house and eat you alive.
Excellent. Okay.
So
That's why we need to take it back.
to finally see one, and kind of with the knowledge that Guinevere had Guinevere may have seen the name in texts or scrolls or runes. This would be both of your first times actually seeing the so-called Great Warg of the Woods.
Okay.
And actually seeing once living, once breathing warg controlling a wolf pack in your area of living.
Okay. Good to know.
Is this rune circle still here?
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna shout inside the cave. Who was the person we were looking for again? It was the Icy Crow member. They had a name. I think I wrote it down. Hold on. Party notes. Yada yada. Thorgest? Right?
Yeah, the
Mhm.
Ulfer.
That sounds right.
Yarta.
Ulfer Hjarta? Yeah, the wolf heart.
Mad wolf. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna shout down into the cave. Thorgest, are you in there?
You shout down, and a couple seconds go by of no response before you hear the sounds of a stick hitting the ground and footprints as you see limping out of the cave is a figure wearing this wolf fur on their head, with their leg seemingly wrapped in blood-stained bandages, and are using a twisted staff with pointy quartz on the top as a walking stick. As approaching and exiting the cave, I will show you his handout
Excellent.
and give you all a better look at the figure.
Spicy.
Oh, neat.
Nice.
I salute him, placing my fist across my chest. Tobias of the Icy Crows, are you all right?
I am all right now that you have dealt with those wolves.
Whatever sign of respect is appropriate to a seer, whether it's, the sort of salute that Tobias just did or whatever, Astrid will do that. And she will say, Is this rune of your making?
Yes, it is. I placed it here to keep the wolves at bay. Unfortunately, this only worked for me. I could not save my... what's the word again for people who bring you places?
Escort?
Yeah, I could not save my escort.
That is a shame. The Jarl sent us to find you. You're safe now. We will take you the rest of the way, and we can certainly send people back for the bodies of your escort so that we can deal with them honorably.
I thank you for that. Let us head back so the Jarl will not be disappointed. And you see him walk over and kind of wave his hand along the runes as they disappear.
That
They
is
were very
powerful
effective.
magic.
Yeah, they sucked. I fell victim to them. I was not a fan of your runes.
Oh, you're fine now.
By proxy, I was also not a fan of
It's
your
true.
group.
I was blasted backwards into Tobias there.
You see, as he kind of walks past you, he pats you on the shoulder, Oper, and says, and kind of chuckles to himself and says, oh, well, they are not meant to be friendly.
Noted.
I guess that actually means you're a wolf.
Are you saying that to Opier or to him?
Opier, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wolves die too easy.
And as he walks past you, he kind of nudges the warg with his stick and says, what is your plans with the warg here?
Probably gonna skin it or take some of its meat for personal uses and then let nature take its course.
We are absolutely either carrying it back to skin decently or skinning it here because this is a warg. This is a hell of a trophy.
You don't realize how heavy these things are.
Yeah, out of character,
I believe
would
in
Opier
you.
would Opier and I be able to carry this thing?
Probably not the warg, but you could definitely skin it and carry the pelt.
Yes.
How much would you say the warg weighs?
That is a good question. As I quickly Google.
Listen, Astrid has a very overinflated sense of everything in her vicinity, so she fully believes that the two of you can carry this thing. I mean, out of character, skinning it is obviously a better idea, but...
So, at maximum, large creatures weigh 4,000 pounds. So for a warg, for the warg, I'll put it between 1,000 and 2,000.
You're fine.
Oh,
Come on,
how
let's
much
go.
can we drag?
Just pick it up. Come
we
on.
could carry it. We could drag it in pieces. It has no head. Does that take like 100 pounds off?
Oh my goodness.
Sure, I'll drop it to 1,500.
All right.
So
Well,
much better.
if you can push over 1,000 pounds, we got it. Because I can push 540. So
540?
Will
My
also
strength is
ask
11, man.
Each of you to make a survival check.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
that's fair.
Knowing that we're not going to be able to actually carry it, because that's just unreasonable. I could probably carry a wolf over my back, though.
We just make a
that's fair.
travois. We make a travois. We found a bunch of, branches and stuff and load it on there.
I'm gonna... Well, it's not really going to do anything because it's a natural one, but I still have this
You do.
D6 or inspiration. I might as well use it before it goes
So,
away.
Guinevere,
Hey,
would
Ted.
you like me to roll the survival?
Yes, please. I'm just now loading in, but if you want to make this final roll, that'd be great.
19!
Hey!
Ooh.
So,
I got a 10 total with my Bardic. Alright, I'm going to
So-
stop streaming on my thing now since you're coming in.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate you doing that.
everyone but Opier, as you're kind of talking about whether to skin it, whether to drag the warg, you all can sense that you can all estimate at least that it seems that a violent storm is on its way as the winds get heavier. So whether you're going to skin the warg now or bury it, you are pressed for some time to make up your minds.
The gods appear to have made the decision for us.
Right. And the
perhaps the
decision
head will
is
do.
to bury it.
Grab the head and let us be off. We're short on time.
Yep.
Do we really want to try and go back as the storm approaches, or would we rather wait out the storm in this cave?
Oh, that's a good question. I thought the survival check is basically telling us that we have to go back now or else we'd be trapped.
Well, the
Did
survival
I read
check,
that wrong?
The survival check is telling you as you feel the airs get heavier and snow begins falling deeper that the storm is going to hit soon. Not that you'll be trapped. Just if you start walking, you'll be walking into the storm.
Oh, okay. I take back what I said. Perhaps we should shelter here until the storm passes.
I mean, we have tents, we have a cave. We could set a fire inside the cave and at least maintain some warmth and visual.
And we have food.
We do have food.
That's true.
I will turn to the to the guy we just saved and said, would you like to join us for a meal on and I just had it. And turn your captors into your own personal victim.
I would feel great joy in honoring this great beast and using every part of it.
Then allow us to retire to the cave. Come, and I will help him into the cave.
Okay, you all head inside the cave. I'm just gonna...
Dragging the warg.
I don't think we can drag the warg, it's too big.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drag one of the wolves in for food, though.
Yep.
Because
Or
I'm pretty
both
sure
of
we
them.
can at least drag those in there.
Yeah.
Bring the head. Bring the head.
Okay.
I'll get the head.
Okay.
I'll just be lugging the head.
Drag this bad boy in the cave with me.
Okay, and there is no cave map, so back to Theater of the Mind we go.
Oh no!
Hey.
As you go into the cave, the rocky ceilings are so low that forces the tallest among you to bow your heads. Which would probably be Opir if I had to guess.
I'm only 6 foot even.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm smaller. Am I taller than Wolfman?
I'm also 6 foot even.
There you go.
Yeah, you're having to bow your heads.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm used to it in real life.
You peer through the darkness and you see the flickering remnants of a fire as you turn in. The only noise you hear is the water dripping from the cracks and forming tiny muddy pools on the ground. The tunnel eventually continues into a point that you can all stand comfortably upright, and as you make a turn, you spot Thorgest's dying fire as he sits near it and begins to light it up again.
Excellent.
I assist him with. I'm thinking he's like rubbing sticks together or something.
Mhm.
I assist him with Druidcraft. Here, allow me to assist. And I make the fire spring back to life.
All right. And you guys cook up the wolves. If you want to skin them, you can give me a survival check per wolf. Any of you?
Sure, I'll try.
Certainly. I'll give you guidance on that. How would I do this? Freya, guide our hand as we make meal of these wolves.
Okay. So give me another roll for the other wolf.
Okay, so here's the second wolf. 6.
Okay. So the first wolf, you butcher pretty decently. You skin it. It was still heavily damaged in the fight, so you can add a damaged wolf pelt to your inventory. The other one, you are still able to butcher it and get meat for food. However, the pelt is beyond being able to use anything with.
That's
Okay.
fair.
And eventually, full stomachs and the night takes you as you all fall asleep for a long rest.
Yay.
Yay, my health is
Success.
back.
I get, well, nothing. I'm good on my long rest right now.
I get 1 spell slot back. Yay. Yay, spell slot.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And eventually, you all awaken, prepared to head back to Uppsala.
Excellent.
The route we're gonna take back, it goes past the escorts, correct? That were killed?
It would. Interestingly enough, though, as you all awake and exit the cave, you notice that there are 4 figures standing outside. What looks to be 2 hunters and some soldiers bearing the mark of Uppsala as one of them approaches and says, the Jarl believed you dead. He sent us to make sure you weren't.
We were merely weathering the storm.
Well, come, we shall bring you back.
Excellent. We'll have to tell him to have a little bit more faith next time.
And
Like
eventually,
in the weather.
your part would bring you past the dead escorts.
Is it possible to bring back like a family crest of some sort, or I mean, just any part of them to bring back to their family?
Well, if you asked the hunters and soldiers, you, Opir, and the others could definitely just carry them back.
Okay.
Sure.
Sirs, I would like to recite the rites of Frigga and reunite these warriors with their families before giving them a proper send-off.
And one of them,
Could I ask for assistance?
yeah, one of them approaches and picks up one of the bodies and begins carrying it. As after some time, you do eventually find yourselves back in the outskirts of Uppppsala, where you see what looks to be a servant of the Jarl and some Huskarl waiting for you. As the servant approaches and basically asks you all and verifies that Thorgest is who he says he is. And after the confirmation is set in, you follow, you begin following the servant as he beckons you to, and you follow the servant Halfred, and the two
I love it.
soldiers towards the giant ash tree in front of the Temple of Upppsala. You notice the curious stares of common people eyeing you from inside their houses. As you are walking under the canopy of the tree on the small hill that overlooks the city, you are immediately surrounded by a warm feeling that seems to emanate from your inner self and project outwards in every direction. Just like the branches of the tree reach for the sky and its roots sink into the earth. This feeling lasts but a moment, but you are not sure if it was real or just your imagination. Maybe conditioned by the stories and legends about this tree that people say is an effigy of Yggdrasil on Midgard. You are taken to the temple, a towering structure made of wood and stone, embellished with ancient carvings and surrounded by a thin veil of mist. The interior is vast and comfortable, heated by the great bonfire burning in the middle of the room, around which the offering to the gods are placed. And as you walk in, Halfred leaves you all and Thorgest to the care of the temple priests, who offer a warm bath, a bed, and nutritious soup of roots and berries, and begins patching up Thorgest to make sure he's alright.
I hand off the warg head to somebody and tell them to preserve it appropriately.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Someone does take it and begins preparing it.
Seeing as how we just got back, I take it the bodies of the escort are being taken to their families.
Yes,
May I go with them?
you may.
Okay. And I'd like to, and we can roleplay this or not. I don't want to take up too much time, but I do want to recite rites to assist in the healing of the family after their loss.
Okay. Yeah, we can say, you go through, you assist in all of that. The families are rightfully sad. But you help them out. You stay with them for some time. Eventually, you do find yourself back with your group, whether they're eating or taking a warm bath back at the temple. You do all group up as the Jarl and 2 guards enter the temple. And this is about hour-ish later. So you're all brought before him. And he walks in with a less like the face of someone who is thankful but not as impressed by your deeds. And he says, I thank you all for your service to me. Here is your payment. And he gives each of you 13 gold pieces.
Can I whisper under my breath, by Odin, I think something's off. And may I make an insight check with guidance?
Yes.
Where's insight? There's insight. Thank you. And then may I use my Oracle ability?
What'd that do?
It allows me to roll an additional 1d6.
Sure.
And this will not reach, or it won't be usable again until a long rest, I believe.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh shit!
So,
Nice.
with your roll,
Three.
you do notice something strange in the way the Jarl is presenting himself in the tone of voice, and it's one of disappointment. You can take it that if you were here a day earlier, he would be celebrating the return of all of you much greater than he is now.
Honorable
Well, I think-
Jarl.
Sorry, go ahead.
Honorable Jarl, has something happened in the time that we were gone?
He gives you the response of, no, nothing has happened. And he kind of gives you the look, a look of, that's why he's upset. Nothing has happened. You were supposed to be here a day earlier. He's been waiting too long for this diviner to arrive.
Okay.
And he pays each of you and looks to the diviner and says, I am Jarl Alrecker, and I wanted to welcome you personally in my town, Wolfhart the Wise. And Thorgest replies with a deep nod and shakes the hand of the Jarl, who responds, or who continues with, I am certain you will be able to divine great riches and fortunes for Upppsala. Now, enjoy your meal and forget the cold and the wild beasts. Here, you are my guests. And he turns around to leave the building with his guards, and they both walk out. Yes, and they both walk out, and as you guys kind of sit there and gather yourselves and spend your time in town, whether it's still at the temple, relaxing, or speaking with the families, eventually a servant of the Jarl finds each of you and would find each of you in the temple, which is, I assume, where you would all regroup, and brings you an extra 3 gold pieces for the bodies that you recovered. Actually, yeah, you are brought an additional 3 gold pieces for each of the bodies, and as a thanks from the clerics, they reward you with a single healing potion.
Nice.
And as you all rest and count your gold and the fight with the warg of the woods, you level up to level 2.
Woo!
And
I will.
As we level up, I'm going to call a break. And when we unpause the recording, we shall explain what everyone gets.
Cool.
Nice.
So
Nice,
be
nice,
back
nice.
in, let's say be back in 10.
Mm.
Sounds good.
Gimme.
So see you
Gimme,
in
gimme,
10
gimme, gimme.
minutes for more Ragnarok. Alright, we are back from the break after a level up. And we'll just go down in the order of Roll20. So, here, tell the folks what you get at level 2.
Well, I got some more hit points, and then I got myself some action surge as a fighter. So, yeah, that's what I got. I got some more hardiness, and I got the ability to do another smackaroony.
As expected of a Viking warrior. Next down the line, Tobias.
At level 2, I got more health. I got the dueling fighting style, and I also got Crimson Right. My right is Right of the Storm, so I will deal an additional 1d4 lightning damage if I invoke it.
Call down the wrath of the gods, I see.
Aye.
Astrid, you're next up. What does our bard get?
Well, I just got better at everything. I could just leave it there, but no, I got Jack of all trades.
Leave it there.
I got Jack of all trades, so I get to pop that beautiful proficiency bonus here and there. And I also picked up Song of Rest so that my friends might be able to feel a little bit better when we are resting, and picked up a new spell, which I'm flavoring it that she noticed the effect of actually managing to heal Hope here, and that felt pretty good. That felt pretty useful. So I picked up Healing Word as well as what I had before.
Okay. And last but not least, Guinevere.
So, being a wizard, I get my fun stuff at level 2. So, as she has been learning more about the world, gaining knowledge, and growing more and more passionate about her studies and with her own personal goals that she is desiring to complete, no matter how intense it would become, she has become the Order of the Scribes wizard.
Ooh.
This particular wizard class gets to use their book as their spellcasting focus. When you cast a wizard spell with a spell slot, you can temporarily replace the damage with a type that appears in another spell in your spell book, which magically alters the spell's formula for casting. The latter spell must be the same level of spell slot as you expend. And when you cast a wizard spell as a ritual, you can use the normal spell's casting time rather than 10 minutes to do so. Once you have used this benefit, you cannot use it again until you finish a long rest. So essentially, I can speed up something that I'm trying to do as a ritual.
Okay.
which is really neat. There's a couple different ways the DM can flavor an awakened spellbook, so I welcome that. There's also the Wizardly Quill. As a bonus action, you can create a tiny quill in your free hand. This quill has the following properties. The quill does not require ink. When you write with it, it produces an ink of the color of your choice on the writing surface. The time you spend copying a spell into your spellbook equals 2 times 2 minutes per level if you use the quill to transcribe. You can erase anything you write with the quill if you wave the feather over the text as a bonus action, providing that the text is within 5 feet of you. This quill disappears if you create another one or if you die.
Alrighty.
So she has. I haven't picked a name yet for my magical quilly quill. So she has an awakened spellbook and a quill that she's now carrying around, which just makes her jotting down notes and documenting stuff even better. And then I got 2 new spells. I got where's my spell book? I just bragged about it. I got Mage Armor because throwing up that shield was very helpful, but having a little bit more protection wouldn't be a bad thing. And then I also got Tensor's Floating Disc.
Ooh.
Which will make carrying things a lot easier.
Okay. And as you all level up,
it's floating disc, but
as you all level up and rest for the day, sleep eventually takes you, and you awaken on this new day with the city of Uppsala. As the city of Uppsala wakes with you this morning, as it's dressed in a white mantle of snow. The branches of the great ash tree thrash around, shaken by the icy northern wind, sprinkled with snowflakes. This is perhaps an omen of troubles and uncertainties. Lonely figures walk to and from the temple, hiding underneath thick furs and heavy winter cloaks, since today is a day of ceremony here in Uppsala. You immediately spot Thorgest Ulfishjarta Wolfheart, the new priest and diviner among them. He's wearing his signature wolf pelt, and his quick stride betrays he might be worried about something. He is walking right towards you. He invites you to follow him with a gesture, and he leads you to his house in the priest's camp. He opens the door to his humble dwelling and lets you in. His dwelling is rustic and straightforward. You notice a series of tiny sealed jars and flasks lined in an orderly way upon a long shelf. A table with weird instruments, a mortar, and some bizarre pieces of what look like dried deerskin, flattened and whitened, all adorned with runes and symbols you cannot quite decipher. Thorgest bows his head and sighs. I once again thank you for coming to my rescue a few days ago in the forest. But alas, I find myself in need of your services a second time now. Tonight I shall officiate the first ceremony for Jarl Elrecker, and given the gravity of the matter, I have already meditated and performed the rituals to better understand the will of the gods. However, something went wrong. Something obfuscates their message. You see, Thorgest then picks up an engraved deerskin, shows it to you, even though to you it is still an enigma, and keeps explaining. I suspect, and it is a dreadful thought, that this so-called scroll holds the answer to our problems. A traveling priest brought it back from distant lands beyond the Danaverk before dying of mysterious illness. I cannot explain further, not until my suspicions are confirmed, but I would ask that you gather the ingredients I need to perform the ritual described on this scroll, and that you do so before tonight's ceremony.
Understood. Tobias and I are knowledgeable of the region. We should be able to collect what you need. Is most of the stuff local?
Give me a nature check.
Oh, I'm good at that. Sure. Watch me kick myself in my own teeth by saying that. Hold on. 14. Not bad.
So he tells you that what he needs are 12 leaves of sea dagger and a good quantity of deadweed that you know can both be found on the icy coast north of Uppsala.
Deadweed, was that?
Deadweed and sea dagger.
Right.
Well, can you tell us any more about that scroll?
As you ask, Thorgest looks at you and says, "All I can say is, I hope I am wrong, because otherwise a grumpy Jarl would be the least of the problems for Uppsala and Midgard."
Well, that doesn't give us very much to go on.
He kind of just shrugs.
As much as I appreciate your enthusiasm for knowledge, Astrid, which feels a little odd to say, I do think it would be best if we made haste now. If what he says is true, then any sort of haste that we put on this is going to be beneficial for all of us.
Out of character, so do we know what Sea Dagger and Deadweed look like?
I'm sure I do. In character, as I was a sailor, and...
Yes. You, Mr. Opier, know that sea dagger are very tough leaves shaped like a spearhead, and deadweed is a dark, thin seaweed that gathers in big and tangled balls.
I will explain as I kind of see this list and they know where to find it. I will describe what it is that we're looking for upon arrival.
Excellent.
But when we get there, you all can get in the water. I prefer not to swim if I can avoid it, but if it's unavoidable, I shall do my best. As you see that I am in fact wearing chainmail armor, and you know, it's not light, and I'm not very good at swimming, so for reasons, but yeah.
That's reasonable.
Well, let's make haste, I guess.
Alright.
Fine, let's
Right.
go.
You
Are
guys-
there any horses or mountain goats that we can borrow?
There are none.
Oh,
Okay.
so we have to make it by foot?
That's fine. We can
All right.
do it. You guys know the way around here. Let's go.
We do.
And as you guys set off, I will take us back to the larger map of Midgard and zoom in as you begin heading north along the coast. And as you begin walking, the wind doesn't show any signs of calming down, and you struggle to move forward against it.
Can I make like a silent prayer to Njord, asking them to relieve the winds of their strength to
Give
kind of make
me-
it easier for us?
Give me a religion.
Okay. 21.
Wow,
21,
nice
okay.
roll.
So let me rephrase. Despite the winds not showing any signs of calming down, you do happen to feel, as you say your silent prayer, the winds are still heavy, but it seems that you are easier to walk through it. It doesn't pose as much of a force as it would have.
As I feel like I'm able to walk through these, I'll kind of direct everyone to kind of just line behind my person as to kind of like drift off of me, so I can direct the wind around me.
As you're all walking, after about 15 minutes along the main road, you spot a rock about 3 feet tall, inscribed with a symbolic representation of waves. From that point, a less traveled path diverges and points towards the sea. Following the path, you can't help but notice how the little vegetation that manages to live on this harsh, rocky and cold soil leaves you exposed to the weather much more than the houses and trees near Uppsala. After about an hour, you find a little patch of forest that promises a little respite from the elements just as you all begin to feel hungry. This could be an excellent opportunity to stop and have lunch.
I do like lunch.
Lunch is good.
That sounds good to me.
If we're by
Sounds like the perfect time to have lunch.
if we're by the water, does it look like we could fish? Or is it too...
It is very icy waters.
Okay. Alright, then I'm not trying to stick my hands in there. Alright, well, we have rations at least, so... I say we have a quick lunch and then we get what we came for and then get back to the city.
Agreed.
So Astrid has been just stomping along on our journey so far, and Guinevere probably recognizes that Astrid is in a snit.
I would drop
sorry,
back.
go ahead.
Oh, as soon as you bring this to Mackenzie's attention, as soon as Guinevere puts together what's going on, she would kind of drop back from towards the front and kind of let Tobias lead, and then kind of bring up the rear and go, Astrid, what's wrong?
Okay, here's the thing. Two things, at least two things. Okay, I'm going to start with two things. So, the Jarl should have been way more impressed about what we did. We killed a warg. Who do you know who has done that, like, in recent memory, that were not in the songs and the poems? Name me.
Well,
one person.
Well,
You
I
can't.
can't, but he
Yeah,
might be
you
able
can't.
to.
I can't. And if I can't, who can? So listen, you grabbed it by the nose. You walked up and grabbed not just a wolf, but a warg by the nose. And his response to that is, Okay, so that's number one. Okay, number two, why do you magic types have to be so cryptic? Again, when we're looking in the poems, when we're looking in the songs, every time anybody gets, like, sent somewhere by a seer or a diviner or a witch or a sorcerer, they say some, prophecy or something, completely indecipherable, and it leads to trouble. Like, it leads to people not knowing what they're getting into. I was asking a very reasonable question about what was on that scroll. And here we are, out in the cold, not knowing anything except that we are gathering plants. And isn't there anybody else who could be gathering plants? Okay, that's three things.
Well, let me start backwards. To address number 3, he trusts us by showing us the scroll. That speaks volumes for both the seers and mages alike. That's quite a bit of trust that he puts in people to be able to be comfortable enough to show us what is more or less his life work, and I feel like that says a lot. So, you have proven to be not only reliable, but trustworthy in his eyes. So, take that as you will. Does that suffice an answer for you?
Not really. I appreciate that you tried, though.
Okay,
it was nice that you tried.
Well, let's move on to number 2. When you are reciting a poem, or singing a song, or telling a tale, there is a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's a story.
Sometimes it starts in the middle, but go on.
But there's always an end, right?
No, but go on.
there is traditionally some form of conclusion, whether it carries on into a next tale or story. There tends to be some form of wrap-up that says, oh, okay, I am done with this, and now I'm moving on to this.
If the skull gets to finish it, yes. I will give you that.
Okay, so at least we're at a mild agreement to
Yes.
this.
Mm-hmm.
With us magic types, and she does like the air quotes, magic types, if we don't have the ability to fully devise an end, it's really hard to tell people the middle. Because they will want to know what the end is. So we do not share our full story until we have a full, encompassing tale to tell.
I'm not asking for the full story. I'm asking for a little bit of direction. Like,
But you're
okay,
asking for a little...
What if the scroll says, those who go out to search the sea for the daggers of the water will come upon a great beast underwater? Like, because sometimes scrolls say things like that. It would be good to know that beforehand, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I suppose you'd have one amazing story to tell when you write the ending of how we defeat it.
Well, of course, but it would still be nice to be prepared. I'm just trying to think strategically since I am in charge here.
Aren't you the one that talks about... You talk about being prepared, and you're the one who's like, hey, guess what? We're going on a mission in the morning after we just got done with a raid. And you want to talk about being prepared? I don't think so.
That was my father's order. If I'd had my way, we would have had like a week to recover and get ready and do something new with my hair and, you know, get a bigger boat. That was not me. That's not on me.
That still falls under the same general array.
Agree to disagree.
Anyway, the reason that the seers don't give all the information is because if they don't have all the information, they're not going to. It puts them in a bad predicament. It puts them in a bad situation. If we don't understand what we are reading and what we are seeing, we cannot translate it properly to the people, and therefore we either give false hope or we set people up for a larger amount of panic that isn't necessary.
Okay. All right. I guess that... Okay. Yeah, all right. That makes a certain amount of sense, I guess.
And through all that talking, you eventually find yourself set up with a small little camp to eat food, to quell your hunger. And as you all eat your rations and food and, well, prepare to get up back into the forest, as you begin walking, the first thing you notice is this forest that you're walking through seems to be shrouded in a mist that has suddenly appeared. Visibility is reduced to a couple of feet, forcing each of you to basically be hand on shoulder walking with each other as you walk deeper into the forest, assuming Opier is at the lead.
Yes, but can I take, because I have a 50-foot rope in my pack, can I tie the rope, like pass the rope between us and have us all tie it to our waists so that even when we inevitably do come out of each other's immediate vision, we will not lose each other?
You may indeed. And so instead of asking the entire group for a survival check, I will just ask Opier.
Okay. Alright. Bam.
Oh god, we're gonna die.
Geez.
Hey man, I'm tying ropes. I ain't lighting a torch right now. I'm tying a
Is
rope.
it possible I can assist him?
It is too late. He rolled.
Okay, that's fair.
It takes you a lot longer than you would have hoped to break the fog. Maybe 20-ish minutes of walking the forest. But eventually you break the fog and the first thing you notice as you're walking through the woods and past the fog, you notice what seems to be barely visible under the snow, what seems to be a skeletal hand grasping a rusty sword.
Oh no.
Huh.
About maybe 20-25 feet ahead of you.
I'm going to... So we've broken the fog at this point?
Yes.
Everybody untie the rope from yourselves in case we need to scatter. But eyes over there, and I point out the skeletal hand with the rusty sword, and after everyone unties themselves from the rope, I will spend a minute recollecting it to put it back in my bag, inevitably knowing we're going to need the rope again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and I will draw weapons.
Alright.
Same.
I will ready my book.
Okay.
Once I'm done, I will then pull out a shield and walk over, not yet wielding my axe, and kind of try and just kick the rusty sword out of the way of the hand. And I'm gonna try and pull the hand out of the snow.
Okay, give me an athletics. You
Nice.
pull the hand, and all you get is the hand. As the skeletal hand wrenches free from the snow.
Can I use my shield shovel and try and unbury what the hand was attached to?
Sure.
I will do that.
Give me a survival.
May I cast guidance and roleplay that before he rolls?
Yes.
Okay. Heimdall, show us the way, and I'll pat him on the shoulder.
Okay.
Roll. Hold on. It's not. Oh. Well,
Sweet.
there you go.
Wow.
24.
24. You shovel the snow with your shield, revealing only the upper half of a very skeletalized figure.
Well, and does this snow feel like it's fresh snow?
Yes. Fresh snow above the snow that was already there, because it's been snowing day and night.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
there
that's
any paraphernalia on this guy that's indicative of who it is?
Nothing that you notice.
Got it.
Well, looks like this person was just unfortunate. I don't know where the bottom half is, but they likely didn't survive long without that, so just keep your eyes peeled, and I guess we just keep moving. As to not end up like that. Poor folk.
Noted. Shall I watch our flank while you take the lead, Opir?
Sure.
Alright. As Tobias leads the flank and Opir leads the front, you guys continue walking the trail, eventually coming on to another grim sight. You see face down in the snow, maybe 15 feet ahead of you, where you're walking, lies a corpse. It wears a bright ochre-colored fur of excellent make that you see face down. And this seems a lot fresher than the skeleton.
I'm gonna walk up to it and flip it over with the shield out, just in case I need to unbury it or something. But I'm gonna just roll it over.
You flip over the body. You can see it is a young man, about 30 years old, clean-shaved, with brown hair tied into a ponytail. In his side, he's holding a dagger that is stuck still deep inside of him, while his face is frozen in a grimace of pain and suffering.
Well, this guy did not have a good end. Does he have anything else?
Tracks?
Yeah, that's a good point
around?
You guys can give me a survival at disadvantage.
Okay.
Okay. Heimdall, reveal to us what's happened here. Or not. I mean,
too.
some days just don't work out for you, I suppose.
Okay. Even with 19 and a 17, it is very quickly, you guys understand that if there were tracks you could follow, the fresh snowfall from last night definitely covered everything up.
Can we look for any sort of emblems or house medals or runes or markings on both the corpse and the dagger to see if anything is identifiable?
Right.
You may. The first thing that catches your eye as you check closer. I gotta look at my knowledge of the houses again. Where is it? There it is. You do notice markings. The first thing you notice is markings that bear the symbol of the Gallarhorn, the defenders of the Danevirk. And the second thing you notice on the hilt of the dagger the dagger seems to bear a mysterious script that doesn't seem legible to any of you.
Oh, interesting.
Spicy script.
Would it be possible for perhaps the bard or the wizard to take a closer look at it and see what kind of make it is?
The dagger?
Yes, because I'm sure there's a huge difference between like the Wolves of the Shadow daggers and Odin's Eye daggers.
Mm-hmm. With no roll, you do notice it is a silver dagger, but the dagger itself bears no markings of any clan.
Okay. Huh.
It's a dagger,
It is a dagger. If any of the smart folk would wish, you can make a intelligence check to try and decipher the mysterious language.
Ooh, I would love to
Sure.
do that. I smart.
I would like to assist. Oh, you rolled.
Well, that was okay.
Assist the
Oh,
even
that was okay.
smarter person.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of smart,
So
but I'm not.
if Astrid is assisting Guinevere, you can roll with advantage.
Yeah.
I'm just like better than average.
Wow! No, you're better than the wizard smart. Good job.
Okay. Which
Apparently,
is
I was distracting you.
Which is very funny because a 14 does not check the DC, but a 17 does. As
Yay!
somewhere in Opir's raiding life, maybe he found himself beyond the Danevirk. Well, you've absolutely found yourself beyond the Danevirk recent times as you raided the Franks. And maybe you took up reading some of their scripts or whatever, and you recognize, I'm gonna butcher this. It says, Bonne nuit, which is good night in the language of the French.
Oh, I can just read French. I actually can read French if you want me to tell you what it says.
I just said what it says.
Oh, is that all it says? It says Bonne nuit? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You got the name of the dagger? That's pretty creative, Astrid says.
Is the dagger itself made of silver?
The
Or
dagger, the hilt is made of silver,
Okay.
which you would understand could sell in the right market for as high as 10 gold pieces.
I am, after reading it, I'm going to slide it down the side of my boot.
Okay, well, as you pull out the dagger, the blade itself breaks off. However, you do still have the silvered hilt.
Okay. Alright. That works for me.
Well,
I will put it, since that's not going to fit in my boot, I'll just drop it in my bag so I don't
Okay.
drop it on the.
Tobias will kind of close his eyes and kind of reset his expression to be a more dignified expression before moving him off to the side.
Okay.
Well, just gonna keep on going. So.
All right. You
Oh, were we
guys-
told that it was French, or was that just kinda...
It's the language of the Franks. All it says is good night.
That is a very distinctive fur that he's wearing. I wonder if anyone would recognize that and know who this was.
Possibly, but I'm not going to carry this corpse for the entirety
I'm
of our
not
travels.
saying carry the corpse, I'm saying take the fur.
She's
You're
saying
more
she
than-
wants a new outfit.
You are more than welcome to
It's
loot this
way
body.
too big for me.
Yeah.
I am honestly saying maybe someone will recognize this because this is not a usual color.
Well,
It's probably the colors of the... Okay, out of character. It's probably the colors of the Gjallarhorn. I mean, you would actually probably know this, Astrid, since they're Odinai's allies.
That's true.
They do.
Is this like
fancy
a standard
themselves-
thing?
They do fancy themselves some bright colors. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure they're, off the top of my knowledge of the image, I'm pretty sure the queen of the Gjallarhorn is decked out in like bright reds.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to take it, feel free.
Oh.
Does this person have any... I know we searched them for, like, weaponry and stuff, but do they have any stationery or letters or anything that seems like they're hiding it on their person that they were maybe assassinated for something?
Give me an investigation. If they did have
roll.
anything, they have since been stripped clean.
Got it.
Perhaps
Alright.
you have an assassin in your midst. Perhaps the assassin's been since dealt with. But whatever happened to this body, there was a dagger in it, and the dagger wasn't taken, so...
Interesting. And when I pulled it out, the hilt
blade broke off.
broke itself from the blade. Does it look like another blade could be put in its place?
No.
Or he was just stabbed in such a way that it froze.
You could certainly bring it to a blacksmith
Mm-hmm.
to try and repair it,
Gotcha.
but that would,
Yeah, that's fine.
If Guinevere gets a good look at the body, do I recognize this person
Oh, interesting.
because of my travels between the clans?
mhm. Give me a history check at disadvantage.
Oh, snap.
14.
14. It's hard to recognize the body outside of maybe like you would know them to be what would essentially be a grunt of the Gjallarhorn. Maybe someone who, considering this person didn't have or doesn't have any weapons on them, they could have been someone delivering messages. They could have been someone, delivering supplies. So you recognize that aspect, but you don't necessarily recognize the figure.
Okay. Person could be one of many people, but unfortunately, I'm not sure exactly who. Wish I could
Either
be more
way.
useful.
We should probably be on guard as we continue.
Agreed.
Good point, yes.
And do you guys continue down
Up
the
here,
trail?
after you.
As you
Following the lead.
as you begin walking, you eventually come to a clearing in the forest, a snow-filled clearing in the forest. And as you begin walking through, you hear whispers above you as the whispers begin saying,
"We are the spirits of this clearing. Raise your hands to the sky and thank us for the shelter we are providing you."
and as you hear these voices, a trio of voices shout down at you, you will get a chance to respond in our next session.
Nice.
Oh,
Ah,
nice, nice, nice.
And this
the voices.
is where we shall end session 2 of Journey to Ragnarok. Everyone, say goodbye to YouTube.
Goodbye.
Bye, YouTube.
And as always, good pie and stay sweet, everyone. Till next time.